Frater Ed Pohl has led an amazing life. World War II veteran, Foreign Service diplomat, antique at Louisiana Tech.
I entered college in the fall of '41, and a few months after that, of course, was the Pearl Harbor episode. So on Sunday morning of December the 7th, there was a movie I wanted to see. And I was out of the movie by 1, and I could hear the newsboys, Japanese bombing Pearl Harbor, war is declared. And one of the wisest things my father ever said to me, I was all gung-ho to go down and enlist right away. He said, no, you wait till you're a little bit older. So I went back to Tech and I spent my freshman year, and at the end of my freshman year, volunteered and went into the Navy. And I served in the Navy as a photographer, and I spent the next 16 months in southern England. We were doing anti-submarine patrols. I was in the English Channel, which in itself was an experience because you're flying at about 800 feet looking for submarines. We carried on board the bombs that were used for anti-submarine work were referred to as zombies. If an aircraft or a crew member spotted what he thought was a submarine, they would fly over the spot and drop sonic buoys. Sonic buoys would hit the water, become activated, and put up a plume of smoke. Then you'd come back in and drop your zombie, which was basically nothing but an oversized homing torpedo. And you'd drop your torpedo on that plume of smoke, and it would take off and go after whatever was causing the sound. So I got my combat missions in, later on got a Navy Air Medal for it.
After the war ended, Pohl returned to Louisiana Tech to resume his college experience.
It was during that period that Alpha Lambda Tau became Beta Zeta chapter of Tau Kappa Epsilon. And I served as one of the officers in the fraternity. It was a nice group. They had their own house. It was the type of a camaraderie. Fellows who are in TEAC right now will probably understand what I mean by that. The closeness and the friendships that were developed, that they were long, life-lasting. In graduation, instead of going into my chosen field of journalism, I became a field secretary for the fraternity myself. The chapter at LSU gives me credit for bringing their local into the national. So I've always been very proud of that. And as it got close to the end of the first year, Dr. Williams was the Grand Prietess at the time, asked me if I had given any thought to possibly how would I feel about being a diplomatic courier for the government. I didn't know what a diplomatic courier was, but so once he explained it to me and how I could travel around the world and see all these different places, it became very attractive.
Pohl would spend the rest of his professional life in the Foreign Service as a courier and then working at embassies in the Middle East, Africa, and elsewhere.
It changed my life completely, simply because if I had not been a member of the fraternity, I would have not had the contacts that I made. And through those contacts, I got into the Foreign Service. Everything went right down the line, because if I had not been in the Foreign Service, I wouldn't have been able to see all these countries. I would not have met the woman that became the love of my life and that I married, and we've been married over 60 years now. And I think that I'd have to go all the way through my life, and if it had not been for the experience with the fraternity, my whole life was shaped by that experience. And it's been a good life. I've enjoyed every minute of it.